Hi guys, Togo here with a new video. In this video, I'm going to talk about a bit about the server population for Classic. Right now, we are at phase 4. There is EG, and most likely, big June, maybe July, you'll get the AQ effort, war effort, with the AQ gates opening, and that's going to be the start of phase 5, which is AQ. Um, and let's analyze what's up with the raiding population on the Classic Anniversary servers. I'm going to talk a bit about Classic SoD as well, and a bit of Cataclysm, with a bit of forward about that as well. But let's talk about Anniversary first. Now, Anniversary is in a state where it looks stabilizing, which means that there is no growth and there is no sharp decline right now. This is the characters raiding at least once between 7th of May and 13th of May. We are today the 20th May, so it's 1 week after these statistics. I'm going to talk about EU first. NA is pretty much the same, but I'm going to talk about EU because I am from EU. So I play on Spychatter EU. I did stop Classic, but I want to actually come back because I'm an addict. No, but like I want to level a character for TBC for sure. I'm thinking about Hunter or Warlock or maybe even Mage. I still need to level a Shaman once the pre-patch is going to come out, so that's going to happen as well. Raiding is something I'm not doing these days. I'm also like thinking to do some just casual PvP, some world PvP, just having some fun here and there. But also like combining with Mist of Pandaria, which is going to come out, for example. But let's talk about Spychatter, for example, here. We have Alliance and Horde, and it's 50-50, which is great. And as you may see, the first week of raiding, it was like, again, we are like around 8k of raiders. And now we are currently at a good 30k raiders. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Personally, I find it kind of worrisome that for a ZG phase, which in general, most characters are going to raid. Of course, those are the logs, so it's not always logged. So there are ZG raids where it's not logged, and some raiders are not logging their B2PL progress or MC progress. That's unfortunate. We don't really have great precise numbers, but let's say that 20% of all raids are not logged of all characters that are raiding. You could then see around like a 36k raiders in EU. Is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? If you're looking in past statistics, we are sharply lower than in 2019. But I guess that's also because in 2019 we had a lot of tourists, we had a lot of people that were just playing for the first time ever, not even private server, but just ever back to Classic, or people that haven't played Classic at all did the first time in 2019, and they just played it out, and they are not coming back because they have seen everything what they wanted to see. A bit of like how I am currently with Anniversary. I have seen everything what I wanted to see. The only thing I really like about Classic is the gameplay. I really like the gameplay. So that does make me come back here and there. I stopped my sub, and at the end I reactivated my sub to play like Mist of Pandaria. That's going to come out very soon, and I'm going to play Classic again because I want to level for TBC, because TBC is going to be very hype for me. Although not perfect, I made a video about that. In general, if I have to predict what's going to happen, I'm going to lower this a bit. If I have to predict what's going to happen with the Anniversary servers, is that from phase 5 and onwards, it's going to be a sharp decline. That's going to be happening. A lot of people are going to lose interest, but also Mr. Pandaria is going to come out at the same time, unfortunately. They just have like, it's very difficult to balance when the dates are going to come out for like different versions of the game. Mr. Pandaria is going to come out, and when next is going to come out, soon we will have the TBC announcement, and you will see more players playing towards the end because they want to prepare for gearing, for example, or pre-patch towards the TBC launch. But like in AQ, we have like it's going to be a sharp decline. Now, how sharp it will be, I think we're going to lose a big 15%, 20% of the player base rating at least in AQ. In AQ. That's my prediction. Again, those are characters rating as well, so it's not like players rating. It's not like 30k players are rating, but it's like 30k characters are rating. And when I was rating with 3 characters. So out of 30,000, I was 3 of them. So if everyone has like 2 or 3 characters rating, and not everyone has that, some people have only one, but if many people are like rating with multiple characters, then that's really a statistic that is very hard to gauge and to understand how is it in reality, how popular is Anniversary. Now, after playing Anniversary again and leveling and trying to play the normal way, no boosting, I do believe like the servers are still packed and you still can find groups here and there. But I truly believe that boosting and everything around it, the whole economy about like mage boosting and whatnot, kind of kills every single server, no matter what. People are like not really incentivized to play in open world because first and foremost you have to contest with people, you have to contest with the other faction, and you're not really incentivized to do dungeons as well because why would you run a normal SM which would take 40 minutes while a mage boost 15 minutes gets you 2 wings which gets you double the XP? That's the issue that I see. Mage boosting is way too strong, way too good, and it just really doesn't reward your time if you're not doing it. If you're not doing boosting, well, you're using your time to have quote unquote fun, but some people find leveling not that fun, so they are going to do a shortcut. I wish mage boosting was nerfed, and I think it would actually help the population to be more present in open world. Now people will say, well, it's 30k raiders, but in open world it feels a bit less populated because most people are like in instances or in Stormwind or in Ogrimmar, and they're not really doing content in open world with quests, dungeons, trying to find people to play with. You don't really have that anymore. So I already made a video about that. I think they really need to nerf mage boosting and just mage solo gold efficiency, like trying to one pull clear the whole dungeon. I think that also needs to be nerfed. Don't shoot me, the mafia will go after me, but I don't really care. You just need to nerf that if you want to make vanilla really great again. In 2005, it was not as rampant. Even in 2019, it was not as rampant. Boosting was actually it was way more expensive back in the day than right now because you were with a limited amount of mages doing that per server. But now you have only one server, one mega server. You have that many mages doing boosting. You will always find a boost available to you. And in any dungeon, yeah, some people are boosting dead mines, while before it was not even worth to boost dead mines because it was like longer. You would just go for stockades, for example, if you're like Alliance. But anyways, that's my take. Now, I did talk a bit too much about like Anniversary, but let's go back. Let's talk about US for the people that are playing in America. It's the same, literally. Like we are like around 30k. Okay, it's a bit less than 30k, but for some reason the Anniversary servers US side is more like less populated than EU. Normally, it's not really that drastic. I think more people are like on hardcore, if I'm not mistaken, in the US compared to the EU. Not even like in hardcore, you have a good 50-50 alliance horde. So if you're like looking for hardcore, you could actually do that in EU with a healthy population. While in the US, it is really horde dominated. You see, like you have way more hordes in Doomhall than alliance. So if you want to do hardcore, just go for horde if you're like from the United States or like playing on the US servers. Now let's talk about classic SOD. Also, I didn't talk about PvE. PvE, it's the same really, but you have like half the population. Most people are going to play Alliance if they are playing PvE because PvE Alliance is a bit better because of like Paladins, and that's a very big thing. Although for the DPS, Horde is probably better with Wind Fury. That is what it is. Population is actually very stable as well. So if you're like playing PvE, it's not going down right now until AQ most likely. And the same for US. US is also very stable. I think in the EU, the truth is that since rank 14, and same for US in PvP servers, since rank 14 is that easy to attain, since that rank 14 is open, which is this week, I think, this one, it goes lower and lower because people are like not really needing to raid. So that's something that people also need to realize, that since rank 14 is open and you can actually grind it if you want to, it's actually doable, although I don't do it anymore because I think it's mind numbing. That's my issue. I think it's way too boring to do. I like PvP, but this is not PvP to me. This is like really just an AFK simulation. And don't AFK, but most people are AFKing at Drek or Van, or whatever objective you are. But since that it is open, you see a lot less raiders because it is not needed to raid those raids anymore, because you get the gear pretty much for free with rank 14. Especially if you're a warrior and you are like already like starved out of loot since MC, it's also very difficult to get gear anyways. You have to be very lucky or doing SR raids and winning those roles. And rank 14 is like guaranteed. And is it better to skip a raid day to get the honor needed to get like the next rank? I think you will often say yes to that. So that's why it is going lower for PvP servers. I guess for PvE it should also be, because you can also rank as a PvEer, but I think maybe the mentality are a bit different there. They're choosing for PvE to do PvE, so they're not going to quit raiding for PvP. They're going to do this like both together at the same time. That's my theory. Now, is it wrong? Am I right? I don't know, but that's my theory. Since this week, so the 2nd of April, that's where rank 14 is open, it goes down because of rank 14 being available. That's my take. Now, classic SoD. You may think that classic SoD has less players, but actually it has a pretty healthy population. If you're thinking about PvP EU, you could go for Living Flame EU, for example. Or if you want to do PvE, you can go for Wild Growth. But like Living Flame PvP, it's a 50-50 population. It's actually very spread out. Here you have a bit more API available as well. All-time tracked characters, including inactives. So here you have a lot of characters available, and you can see who are played the most. You could also see the population here. That can you see it on your screen? Yes, I can see it. So I'm going to do like this. Can you see it still? I'm going to move it. So you see this is like from 19 February 19. Can I do it a bit more precise? I guess not. Don't know how I can do it though. It doesn't work the same as the other one. Anyways, I cannot really see precisely how the rating scene is, like the same for Anniversary. I guess I do a bad manipulation. It is what it is. But you have 24,500 PvP raiders in EU, and you have 12,000 PvE raiders, so Wild Growth EU, in total on SoD, which is pretty big if you're like thinking, because if you're going for together, it's like literally very close to the same amount as in Anniversary, although Anniversary is still more popular, I would say, like population wise. It's surprising that still you have a lot of people still raiding in SoD. Now those are characters again. Most of people have multiple 60s and they're raiding probably every day on them, because it's very easy to raid, because the lockouts are like spread out for BWL, MC, AQ, Nax, farming coins, for example, whatnot. So again, those are only the logged ones. Not everyone logs every single raid. Then you have the same for US. US, you have, I would say, more players playing SoD, but you have PvP-RP. So for them, Crusader Strike is the most populated PvP server. For us now, it's Living Flame. Crusader Strike is dead. And you have 25,681 raiders, or at least characters raiding in the US for PvP, and for Wild Growth, which is the PvE one, is 13,490, and you still have some people raiding on Living Flame and Shadow Strike and Chaos Ball. Like, it's just a very little amount. Um, but in general, if you want to raid in Classic SOD, you can. You can still do SOD and have a healthy population, having a good guild to raid with, and you have possibilities to do so. Am I playing SOD? I am not playing SOD. I don't plan to play SOD. I think it's like end of line anyways, end of life anyways. So I'm waiting for the next seasonal server, which is going to be Classic Plus in my opinion. And I hope it is not seasonal. I just don't want a Classic Plus season. I want a Classic Plus progression. I always said that as well. I just want them to progress their Classic Plus and keep on building it instead of making it seasons, because seasons is finite and most people are going to see, the season is going to be done in 6 months, why bother, like the season of discovery. While if it's a progression server, it's never going to be done, so you will always join the bandwagon if it's really interesting. So that's my opinion again. I think seasons should be. I'm very tired of MMOs being seasonal, by the way. Like the same for retail. Like it's very annoying. I don't like that. Classic era for surprising amount of people rating in EU. You have 5,400 people rating, and in the US you have 6,300. It's still like a pretty solid amount. So if you want to rate on classic era, you can. Personally, I don't really care too much about classic era. And then Cataclysm, surprisingly, you have a lot of raiders. In EU alone, you have 56,419 raiders. Now it's like split between multiple servers, between French servers, German servers, Russian servers, English servers, obviously with Gehennas and Pharma being the biggest. Yeah, I think the main issue that I see for Cataclysm and soon to be Mr. Pandaria is that you have too many servers on EU. I think in US it's a bit different maybe. There's still a lot of servers, but like you only have like a 10 good servers, I would say, that you can raid with. Even then, I'm counting those two that are very low. In EU, you have plenty of servers. Like I can scroll a bit more, and you see that they are actually pretty healthy. Like these ones is 4,000, and it's like we have 10, with like the lowest being 4,400 or 3,300, and you have then French servers and Russian servers, and like a Spanish server here, for example. But I think it would help to do a big mega server, the same for Cataclysm and Mr. Pandaria, I would say, next. Put Fireman and Gehennas together, so you have actually a 50-50 Alliance Horde. That would be nice. I would say all the Russian servers together as well, all the German servers as well together, and all the French servers as well. Maybe put the French and the German servers and even the Spanish one together with the English. The Russian, I can understand why it's separated, because it is a Russian server. They don't really type the same. But it would be interesting to maybe consolidate those servers so you have a bigger population on them. I think Mr. Pandaria is going to be quite popular. Now, how popular it is going to be, I don't know. But I know that the PvP scene is going to be very alive. And I am a PvPer, so I have tested the beta a bit. Their PvP testing will be this week, if I'm not mistaken. They're going to open a beta season, so you can try that. And I'm excited for Mr. Pandaria. I think Mr. Pandaria is really great. It's not the same as Classic, for sure. It is. I would say it's a mix between retail and Classic, because it's still not retail to me. The classes are still very alive. You can be a very big hybrid, while in retail, a Retribution Paladin is not really. I cannot consider it a hybrid anymore, because it doesn't heal well, or it doesn't heal at all, to be fair. Like, I think Arms Warrior heals more than Retribution Paladin over a course of a match. So, for me, Mr. Pandaria is like a sweet spot between those two. Now, the open world is like less interesting than in Classic, but I guess it's because we don't have mega servers, we don't have a 50-50 faction, we don't have a lot of stuff that would be making it interesting, thinking about PvP, thinking about PvE, thinking about world bosses and whatnot. So yeah, I think I'm excited for Mr. Pandaria. I will test it. It will come out most likely pre-patch in like end of June maybe, and beginning July, something like that is going to be Mr. Pandaria. That's my take. It could be sooner. I would like it to be sooner, to be fair. The issue is like it's going to compete with AQ, and I believe AQ cannot really compete with Mr. Pandaria. That's my take, because the gear is good, the loot is good, but it's not good for everyone. And I think the raid is very boring. Like all the trash mobs and whatnot is like harder than the bosses itself, which I personally don't like it. I think the less trash there is, the better it is for the raid, in my opinion. But yeah, this is a bit of a conversation about the servers. Hopefully, you do understand and like it. If you don't like it, let me know. I'll be making a bit more Mr. Pandaria videos, TBC videos. I'm still going to make. It's very hard for me because I have to split myself in multiple like Togres, I would say. Um, but I'm going to try to organize myself to make those videos a bit more clear. Maybe like more of a schedule, like for example Tuesday TBC, Wednesday Classic, Thursday Mr. Pandaria. I could do something like that. Why not? It's very difficult. But anyways, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.